Hello, it's Jang here with a look at the Mega Construx Halo Series 11 individually packed figures. Normally, the first thing that I would do here is get these all open so you can see all of them in their natural form, but first I want to show you the packaging, which has changed just a little bit. These are the ones that formerly would have been called Halo Heroes. You know, they give you the opportunity to get exactly the figure that you want, or the exact one that you're looking for, because it's, you know, nicely displayed and everything, which costs a little bit more, well, quite a bit more actually, for them to produce than the little blind bag figures. But you do at least get, like, you know, unique paint schemes or painted up accessories and things that make them a little bit more valuable to us as well. But the packaging has gotten a little bit cheaper, I want to say, quite a bit cheaper actually this time around, with just a thinner cardstock on the back, very simple monochrome print on the back as well, and just a slightly more simple blister. I think, you know, just a single pack, doesn't have any additional insert in there or anything, but I don't mind that one bit. I just wanted to point it out for folks who are interested or care about those things. Definitely not going to be as good to keep on card for the mint on card collectors out there. Definitely not my thing. I always get them open. But these are actually easier to get out of the package now, and should help the poor suffering company to hopefully make a little more money off of still hopefully good quality products. Okay, let me get these open and take a look at them individually. ODST Lang here is from the Fireteam Raven arcade game. And I'm not a big fan of purple, just generally speaking, but I have much respect for this choice of purple. It does definitely look good with the grays and the silver and everything. The color match between the paint applications, such as what's used on the helmet, and also for the shoulder armor, and also for the lower legs, matching to the plastic purple that's used for the main chest armor, which then has gray applied to it as a paint app. That's really good. You know, the hue is very, very close, and then you have that subtle difference of the visor color, which is a little bit more reddish, closer to a wine kind of color. And yeah, this is, when you look at it up close, this is a well-produced figure. Has the proper female torso underneath. It's a shame that they did not also include a helmet off version of a head for her. I think that would have been a good value, to be sure. Look at the paint application all the way around the back of the lower legs, you know, on the boots, having that additional purple going back there. That's pretty nice. Overall, pretty well done. Comes with the Magnum, which has a single paint color application to it. The CQC Spartan has a color scheme that you don't frequently see from Mega. Very earthy, very dark, with good subtlety in there between the black, the very dark brown, and also a little bit of olive drab used just around the top here, this webbing, the fabric material. So that looks pretty good, and it's different, and it's not what you usually expect. They've done a pretty good job with the visor as well. Maybe a little bit muddled around the edges. I don't know if that's intentional or not. If it is intentional, it's really good shading. If it's not, it still works as pretty good shading. This one comes with the concussion rifle, which in my opinion is just kind of a deluxe accessory from Mega. It used to be rather rare. They've made it less rare lately, as they've made that set of molds, the two available with the actual weapon itself, and then the little magazine in there, more available in more sets or with more figures. But this one also has the copper color for its accent color, and that works out pretty nicely and shows its detail. Coming around the back, more paint applications with the armor, the main body armor, getting that olive drab on top of the dark brown. I appreciate it very much. And the tan, I kind of expected the tan to have some speckles mixed in with it, but it doesn't. It's just, it's actually kind of more of a dark beige, almost, I want to say. But yeah, just overall, I think the whole figure works together well. And again, with the dark and earthy color scheme, it's just not what you usually get. This is more like what you usually get, or at least frequently get. This Spartan operator has a very bright color scheme, very, very bright. The yellow is like a school bus yellow color, maybe a little bit brighter than that. Paint application on the shoulder armor here is good. Paint application on the main, showing the canisters, I guess the pouches for 40 millimeter grenades, I'm assuming. Those look pretty good. The optics, I guess, the sensor array on the helmet, that's done pretty nicely, but the visor is not. And that whole helmet, the whole head piece, has a slightly translucent plastic. This is the bad, in my opinion, the bad kind of bright. The bad kind of bright color production where it's so bright and it lets so much light through it that it starts to look extra toyish, unnecessarily toyish. Recognizing, of course, that this is a toy. It's just a little thing, a little action figure. Still, they can do better. They have done better. They do better all the time. And just the production on this one is not that good, especially with the head. I think the rest of it is okay. Yeah, I'm all right with the rest. It's very bright. It's brighter than I would like. But it's the head that is definitely the worst, and it's accentuated in its worstness. There you go. Have fun with that one. By the fact that there is no outline on the visor. That just makes it so much worse. There you go. Have a lot of fun with this one. Because, I mean, even the visor print itself, that gold is not particularly opaque. So you see some of the red coming through it, and then you see some of the light coming through the red. That's not good. However, the major redeeming quality, redeeming point, redeeming thing on this figure is that glorious splazer. That is the best Spartan laser production at a micro scale that I've ever seen. Especially from something that's not done by hand. And I don't think if it was done by hand, it would be this good. I mean, there are some little issues with it, but I cannot complain. It is beautiful. Look at that thing. Look at all the little fine prints on it, all the paint applications. It's just glorious. Fantastic. It's just too bad that it was matched up with a figure. I mean, this looks so realistic and so raw, compared to this that almost looks prototype-like, or again, just super toyish. So a little bit of contrast there. Really nice here. Most of this is okay, but the head just kind of ruins it for me. Aha! Ripa Morami, or Ripa Morami. However you pronounce it, I do not care. We all know who we're talking about, and the name is written right there. It's the Arbiter from the original Halo Wars. Much love for this one, to be sure. This is done very nicely. Got the good silver color. It's not a super bright silver. It's light, but it's not super metallic. It's a little bit plasticky. I feel like you might not be seeing quite as much of its metallic nature here on camera, just because of the way that I have the light set up in the studio here, as I see with my plain eyes. But it's definitely not super chrome. It's not like the previous one that they did, the previous official Morami character that came with the Phantom years and years ago. But all the fine lines, the fine filigree lines in there, that is beautiful. That's very well done. The gold is very good. It has a good hue, good opacity, good level of metallic sheen to it, good amount of metallic flake in there. That also is done with the top of the helmet there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Really well done. And then it also comes with the paint applications, the unique paint applications on the two swords there. It is a little bit of a shame that they don't still make the classic style of sword from Mega. They're just using the 343 era design, which I personally very much prefer. I just like that design. I think it's much more sleek and interesting. Looks more like it's going to go through flesh, and it looks more alien. I don't know, it just works for me, but it's not appropriate for this era. I do wish that they still had that older mold in circulation, in use for situations like this where it's more appropriate to use the older thing. Sorry about the light always going through it, but you get the idea here. The skin tone is okay. It's not super bright here. I can always go for a little bit darker than that, but it's not bad. Overall, definitely a worthwhile figure to collect. All right, this may be a bit much, so let me see. Yeah, I think that's gonna help a bit there. Just hold this behind. This is, speaking of 343 era, this is a modern Master Chief, but with overshield. And what's interesting here is, well, first of all, it's super, super bright. It's very neon. It's kind of a day glow effect, but there's a lot of paint application work going on with a lot of these armor pieces, a lot more than meets the eye at first. I mean, the kind of lightning appearance it consists of two different colors that are applied. You have the very light color. It's kind of like a light spring green, almost like a lichen color. It's a very, very pale green. But then there's also apparently an olive drab is what it looks like to me. That's used as a contrast color. Same color that's used on the assault rifle there, which also has a couple of other colors applied to it. It's not the best looking thing, but it's okay, and it's new. It's unique, so it's collectible. But you can see the shoulder armor has some of that, both sides, lower legs, upper legs. There's a outline around the visor, which is important. The visor print itself, or the paint application with gold, is sufficiently opaque, so that's not too thin. Yeah, I personally probably would have wanted to see a little bit less brightness, maybe go more in the pure green direction with the color. A little less neon than this, but it stands out. It's something different. Paint applications come around the back a little bit as well. That's nice. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this one. I feel like I need to see more of his natural color either appearing, his natural armor color either appearing in some parts, like on the arms, or I don't know. This one doesn't quite work for me, but I don't mind it. It's not like I look at it and say, this is done wrong. It's just, I would have made different choices, or at least I would have tried. They probably tried as well. Probably some of them didn't work. This might be the best they could have done, and just reasonably with production. Let's move on. This last one is the Remnant Hunter, and it stands out for a couple of reasons, actually. Not just the fact that it is significantly larger than the regular figures, significantly larger, but also this is the only one out of all of these that required some proper assembly out of the package. I actually had to do some work to finish the figure rather than just putting the figure on the stand and putting any weapon in the hands. This one required all these little bits to be added in. The spikes had to be added onto the back, and both pieces of the shield system on this arm needed to be added on. No big deal whatsoever. It's a big figure, and yeah, they needed to save somewhere. That's perfectly fine. Colors on this one are pretty good. Got a nice level of metallic. It's got that kind of metallic wine color here. Same that was used. I mean, this is a soft material, obviously, but that color for me was most famously used on the Revenant vehicle, and that same color is also used here. It's not quite as opaque, not quite as metallic, but then you have it really good right here, a little bit on the body, knee pads and such. When these first came out in Warzone and Halo 5 Guardians, they kicked a lot of butt, and they continue to do so for unprepared teams. But yeah, a worthy thing in game, and a worthy figure of it. It's always nice to get hunters. They haven't been made very frequently by Mega at all. It is a little bit awkward seeing it on this stand because technically its legs want to be at least have a space of at least two studs between them. So it's kind of a little bit knock-kneed here, but overall, and these, let them relax, and they'll become a little bit more consistent between each other. A couple of these were a little bit folded up in the package, but all in all, pretty good, and nice to be able to get as an individual without having to buy an entire big expensive set. So there you have them, Series 11 of the Mega Construx Halo, formerly Heroes figures. Maybe not the strongest full series that they've done to date, but it definitely has some unique elements in it. In my opinion, the most collectible, most must-buy figure here is the Halo Wars Arbiter. We haven't got an official one of those in a while, and it's well done. If you have played Fireteam Raven, which I myself have not had a chance to do yet, then this could be a good one to collect, just to kind of, attach to your memory of that experience. If it was a good experience, which I'm assuming it would be. This is one of the less collectible, I'd say, Master Chief variants that they've done to date. One of the less interesting, but if you want to get all the Master Chiefs, there's no reason not to get that. It's different. It stands out, which can be good or bad. This would probably be my personal second favorite of the figures here, just because of mostly the color scheme. It's just so dark and dingy in good ways, yet the visor stands out well, and that concussion rifle is very nice. My least favorite is definitely this, for the reasons I already explained, although that Splazer, that's a must. So even if I wasn't reviewing these, even if I wasn't trying to collect as many of these things as I could, I would still have to get this figure myself because of that accessory, and for no other reason. I don't think they did that on purpose, to be honest. I don't think they're, trying to intentionally give you something that you won't like and then bundle with it something that you will like. I don't think that's the case at all. But this could have been a better figure, mostly if the head was done better. But overall, the stuff is pretty good. Always nice to be able to get a Hunter just by itself. Let me know in the comments what you think about these, though. What do you think about this as a series compared to others that they've done in the past? And I'll talk to you again as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.